that is it. NFL Combine is in the books. And not only am I going to talk about today, but I'm going to give you my top performers of the Combine in general. Let's jump into this. What is up, Fin fans? Combine is over. Tomorrow we start free agency. But of course, we're going to talk about the offensive linemen today. And I'm also going to talk about the Combine in general. And I wrote down a ton of names. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of the performers, in my opinion, that popped out the most to me. And I would be very happy if the Miami Dolphins drafted them. But real quick before we shout out them, I got to shout out today's sponsor, and that's Clean the World. You guys know about Clean the World. Sean Seipler, a really good friend of mine. I've been talking about them constantly. I can't talk about them enough with the amount of good that they do to people of need, whether it's third world countries, natural disasters, the homeless. They have gone to multiple different countries. So many different countries, have helped so many different people, have recycled millions of bar soap, have gone through tons of hotels. The amount of stuff that these people do is just mind-boggling. They also have crazy good merch, and you also can donate and help in any way you possibly can. Go check them out, cleantheworld.org. Shout out to them. So today was offensive linemen. There were some good ones. Now I'm not going to go too in depth because some of these guys made my top, but like Josh Connerly Jr., he had a good day. Joshua Gray had a good day. Jared Wilson, he had a good day. Speaking of Jared Wilson, real quick, let's just 40 times, 484 from this center from Georgia. Now, obviously, 40 times don't really matter much. I don't know why I can't talk today, but that's fast for a center. What you really kind of want to see is that 10-yarder, right, for these offensive linemen, because that's where you're really going to get the giddy up. And they're only really going to go 10 yards down the field, especially when it comes to run blocking. So Connerly, he did well, 1.71. Ratledge, he did well, 1.72. Jonah, who I like a lot, the offensive tackle out of Arizona, Savania. I'm going to say Savania. I think I got that right. 172, Clay Webb, and then you see Jared Wilson there, and then Membu, 174. These are the guys, these are the numbers you really want to look at when it comes to these 40-yard dashes, not necessarily list. And then you have the verts. You see Greg Zabel, a guy I like, Jalen Travis, Joshua Conley again, Membu there again, and even the broad jump. Membu, Campbell. Membu, you're seeing a lot of him. Spoilers. And you might ask yourself, Doug, who gives a crap if these big guys can jump vertically or broad? Who gives a flip flap and the flim flam? Well, that really shows the power in their legs. That's why with the defensive linemen, I talked about their verts and their broad jumps, because it's about getting that giddy up, that first, hike, boom. Same thing with the offensive linemen, crashing into each other. So those are some, and then the downs. Booker didn't have a great day. Will Campbell didn't have a great day. Jalen Rivers didn't have a great day. But it's the Combine. They'll bounce back. They have pro days. So let's jump into this. And I'm going to give you guys my top performers of the Combine and guys that I am really going to be looking at when it comes to the draft. And if the Miami Dolphins have potential to draft them, I would love it. First on my list, and again, it's not from most important, least important, mostly from the days that they worked. Jihad Campbell out of Alabama, that linebacker. If we could trade now, I don't know if he'll go before 13. I don't know if he's considered, maybe a 15, 16 area. But if the Miami Dolphins get him at 13 or trade down and get him, 6'3", 235, ran a 4.52. He's a dual threat linebacker, one of the top off the ball linebackers. And what really got me and really made me like him as a prospect and as a player is the fact that he stayed and did the pass rushing drills after the linebackers were done. So Jihad Campbell is a guy that I'm really liking, and the Dolphins do need a middle linebacker. And I would really like to grab him at 13 if a possibility. Again, the Miami Dolphins have a plethora of opportunities at 13. Like, you're going to have quarterbacks potentially go. Jackson Dart, if he goes before 13, that would be a huge reach. No knocking on Jackson Dart, but that would also help more people fall to 13. And the Dolphins potentially have a trade back option and still get someone. So Jahad Campbell, I'm really, really, really liking there. Derek Harmon, Oregon defensive tackle, 6'4", 313 pounds, ran a 4.95. Again, that for a 6'4", 313-pound guy to run a 4.95. That's impressive. Quickness, he moved well in the drills. He impressed the Ravens defensive line coach. Like, he's just moving really well, and he's quick for a big guy. So, I really like him. I think he's a late first, Derek Harmon. So, again, that's a possibility of a trade down. I don't think he'll be there in the second round, but I do like him. Nick Emunwari. I think I said his name right. South Carolina safety. To me, I think he overtook Starks, in my opinion. Again, you might like Malachi Starks. I'm really, leaning towards Emunwari. South Carolina safety, 6'3", 220 pounds. That is tall, right? He ran a 4.38. A 4.38 for a 6'3", 220-pound man. And he didn't do any on the field stuff, but you just watch how he played in 2024 at South Carolina, and then you add in the height, the weight, the broad jump, everything else, and his 40 time. I'm really liking him. I'm very excited to see what he does at his pro day, but I'm liking him more than Starks. I might put him ahead of Starks, and you spoiler for my top 5 prospects, I might put him ahead of Starks. Then we have Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky, cornerback, 5'11", gained 4 pounds, went from 179 to 183, ran a 4.28. That is super quick, smooth catching. He's the top percentile in his 40-yard. He's top percentile in his vert, 39.5 inches. Top percentile in his broad jump, 10 foot 9 inches. Really, really liking this player. Again, I will, when the time comes, end of March-ish, we'll know where these guys are slated. Is there a possibility in getting Hairston in the second round, or is he definitely going to be a first rounder? And I'm thinking he's going to be a first rounder, especially with that 4.28 speed. But he had a great combine and definitely helped out his stock. Then we have Jaden Higgins. Now, Jaden Higgins isn't going to be, a first-round pick probably, and the Dolphins could probably get him in the second. Wide receiver out of Iowa State, 6'4", 214. That's instantly, when I saw that, I was like, because we have all receivers under 6 foot. And to see this guy at 6'4", 214, yes, he didn't run super fast, but he ran a 4.47, and his 39-inch vert. That's what that's what the Dolphins offense is missing. You got Malik Washington, you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle. You throw in a guy like Jaden Higgins, who's a 6'4", 214 guy, who's going to get those 50-50 balls on the outside, really well at looking the ball into his chest, really quick turn up the field. Really liking him, and if the Dolphins have a possibility of getting him, I know we're fine at receivers, but Tyreek Hill probably won't be here next year. He might not even be here coming after June 1st. I like him because of his height and everything else that goes with him. So he's one of my top performers. Then you have Quinshon Judkins, the running back out of Ohio State, 6 foot, 221 pounds, ran a 4.48 40. He's fast. He's elusive. He's got great transition up the field to be really good on wheel routes and all that stuff. Again, that's what those passes are, where they catch, and they catch the last one and run up the field. Shows how they get that change of direction, run up the field. Quinshon Judkins really solidified his position, and kind of, you're trying to find who's behind, obviously, the number 1 running back in this draft. I like Quinshon Judkins. Another guy, I'm going to butcher his first name, Bashal Tutton. I think that's how you say his name. Running back out of Virginia Tech, 5'9", 206. He ran a 4.32. It's not the fastest, but as fast, 40. Now, great hands. He's gonna miss you in the open field. Elusive in that aspect. He's got a slow change of direction, right? In the 20-yard shuttle, he ran a 4.41, kind of slow when he was going back and forth. That's something you can work on. Really did like him and think that he had a very good day. Then we get into the offensive linemen. I got 2 offensive linemen to me that popped today. And that obviously is Armand Membu. I think that's how you say it. Armand Membu, Missouri tackle, 6'4", 320, ran a 4.91, right? It's not bad. I showed you his 40 time versus the other offensive lineman. What made me laugh with his 40 is how loud he was. He was like, like every 10 yards, he got louder, and then that last stretch, really, like, he had a high motor, he had that competitive spirit, he had an NFL average arm length with 33.5 inches, explosiveness with his 34-inch vert and 9'7" broad jump. And again, offensive lineman, that's what you want to see. You want to see that power in that legs. That's what the broad jump and the vert is measured for. Really, really like him. I don't know if he makes it to 13, especially after what he did today. If he does, fantastic. I think they move him to the inside, or they could possibly, because I don't think they're going to take Patrick Paul and move him to the inside. So I think Membu might be moved to the inside, but really, really like him, and I would love him at 13. And then you got Jonah Savani, Arizona offensive lineman. I think the Dolphins could possibly get him in the second round. 6'4", 234, ran a 4.95, fluid mover, heavy hands. When he was, again, because you do that, boom, hitting the bags, he was smacking them so loud. 33 and 7/8 inch arms. Again, NFL ready arms, so he could possibly play tackle. That's where, like, some of these other guys you're going to see kind of fell off there because their arm length was kind of small, like Will Campbell. His arm length was 32 and 5/8 inch. So that's like, you normally want 33-inch length arms when it comes to the offensive lineman. And Will Campbell, who's considered one of the top offensive linemen in this draft, he might fall a little bit because of his undersized arms, and he's a possibility of being moved to guard because you don't want short arms outside on your tackles. But to me today, the 2 guys that popped out, obviously more guys popped out, and I named them, is Membu and Savani. Again, I think you can get Savani in the second round, but that could change. And then Membu, I don't even know if that guy makes it to the 13th round. It used to be the 13th pick, but this combine definitely helped a lot of people. And this combine showed, again, I did a mock draft just for fun, like I think when the season ended, where I didn't even know anything about these players. I didn't know names. I didn't know who I liked. I didn't know anything. I was just like, let me just do a mock draft and see how it goes. And I put it online, and people were like, there. Like, I took Dylan Gabriel in the 5th round, and people like flamed me for it. And then I took somebody else, and they're like, oh, wow. And why would you take him? I'm like, I just was doing it for fun. Now that I'm watching the combine, now that I got a little taste of what these prospects are like with this past week, I'm liking a lot. I'm liking Jihad Campbell, Derek Harmon, Amanwari, Hairston, Higgins, Junkins, Tutton, Membu, and Savani. I would love these guys. Now, obviously, you're not going to get all of them. They're all going to be, most of them are going to be in the first round, but these are names that I'm really liking, and I'm starting to get more of a depth and understanding of these prospects. So when April comes, or even the end of this month comes, and I start building up my top 5 prospects, it's going to be fun. And I am doing quarterbacks this year, because obviously you got the top 2, which are Cam Ward and Sanders. I'm not going to put them in my prospects because the Dolphins have no chance of getting them. I'm starting my top 5 after those 2 with, Jackson Dart and Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard and all those guys. So it's going to be fun. Comment below. Who are your top performers out of this combine? Anyone that popped out to you, let me know below. I will see you tomorrow. We are starting free agency. I got a video plan. I just don't know how to name it. So it's going to be fun. But like usual, stay classy. Events up.